Well, guys, it's almost January and we haven't been sacked yet. Yeah, since you were last with us in the derby against Southampton, of which, yes, I know we only lost 1-0, but we were well beaten in that one. We have picked up form, if you want to call it form, ever so slightly. It didn't go well against Arsenal as expected. We did get a result against Sheffield United, but that's nothing to write home about considering they're below us in the league. West Ham beat us again. We managed to pick up a good result against Wolves, and Fulham was a tough one to take, that one, because we did really well there and they scored an absolute worldie. Lost to Crystal Palace again, irritating result. But Everton was a big one. Everton are third in the league and we managed to sneak a draw there. So we haven't picked up that many points, but nevertheless, we are starting to pick up some points. And as a result of picking up a few points, we're not out of it. We are, in fact, only 3 points off safety. It would have been much better if we were able to beat Fulham, which was a result I was really hoping we could do, but couldn't work it out. You know, we are only 5 points behind. I say only 5 points are our biggest rivals, and then there is starting to become a gap there. So we do need to start picking up a few more points, but slight improvement in the form. So hopefully we're looking up and not looking at me getting sacked. And now after the slightly good news, I've been given some more bad news. Due to the terrible finances of the club, I suspect it's probably my fault by probably gambling a bit too much on the team, even though I really don't think I spent that much on players, and I brought a lot of players in and still had spare money on wages and players. We did have as you can see on the right hand side on the wage budget, we did have a 655,000 wage budget, and then they've just come in and said, due to finances, we've took basically the rest of your transfer budget of you, and they've asked and reduced it by £140,000 wage budget. So that isn't me just spending nearly 200,000 over the actual wage budget. It was on 600. If you go back previous videos, you will see that. But now somehow they're asking me to reduce it by 140,000. So we are just about to play Leicester and then go into the January transfer window. And if I'm honest, I'd love to say, obviously, realistically, we need to improve the team in order to try and keep up. But by looks of it, we're going to have to strip this team back, get rid of, basically, we're going to lose any depth in this team. We're going to lose any depth. I'm going to have to get rid of a few of these players, unfortunately. Maybe if I'm sneaking a few cheap loans to replace them, it'll help the squad a bit. But I'm not going to get my hopes up. I mean, this season really is just drag ourselves through. Drag our falls for the season. Hopefully the players here will improve and then something to build on next season. But as of right now, we're in the relegation zone. Financially, we're absolutely broken and the wage budget has to be slashed. So I'm not too sure what else can go against us. I mean, other than the fact that Dane Scarlett's injured as well. I mean, why not? Let's just add that in there. But nevertheless, we'll keep grinding away. We'll still try to get some results. And this season really isn't about... I mean, if we can catch up to Southampton, it'd be great. But this season is really just... It's finishing 17th, essentially. We'll take 17th right now. We're going to have to drag a lot of things out. And this is the state of affairs looking at the table. As we've just noticed, 3 points from safety, 5 points behind Southampton. They do have that game in hand, which I have to hope they don't win. We are only 3 points off Sheffield United, and obviously Reading are pretty much gone already. But the most important thing is we're just out after the halfway stage of the season, and we are still in the fight. We are still in touch and difference of safety, which I think is very important with a half a season to go. In terms of any transfer news already, we have already got this player to Jerks going out. This was agreed pretty much after the transfer window closed at the beginning of the season. I just kind of forgot about it. But, I mean, he wasn't really playing. Again, it gets him off the wages. And on the plus side, at least I don't have to try and say his name anymore. Because evidently I failed at it. But at least I don't have to keep trying anymore. He will be going in... We have gone and got ourselves Cheltenham at home in the FA Cup third round. So you'd like to think that we can at least win that one, and that'll help morale a little bit. And hopefully put a few quid in the coffers Not much at the third round, but the further you go through, the more money you get. So I think that's a kind draw we've got there, providing we don't mess it up. And also, we did get a youth intake, which is an excellent youth intake with a few strikers in there, apparently, star strikers. But I've seen what these youth intakes are like. I'm really not going to get my hopes up. I mean, we could do with a star or two, but again, you guys all know who play FM what these youth intakes are like. So hit and miss. I'm really not going to be banking on it or relying on it. So we are going to go into January in a minute. I'm just going to play the game against Leicester first, see if we can pick up some more points for you guys and for me, of course. And then I think the plan is I'm going to go through January, and I'll come back at the end of January with hopefully a team still intact. Well, first of all, at the end of January, the main priority is I come and I still have a job. That was priority number one. Priority number two is still being in touching distance of safety, if not if not out of the relegation zone. And three, hopefully a squad that isn't completely depleted and we're down to bare bones. I mean, those are my three hopes when we come back for the next episode. Let's not wait any longer and let's get into the game against Leicester at home. As you can see, formation's the same. I have tweaked a few things around. We are now thinking positive. We are doing a Gurgen press. We've gone from the vertical tick-attacker. I'm kind of going for a more gun-ho approach. Kind of like, rather than trying to defend our way through this league, and we're just really not scoring goals. So we might only be losing 1-0, but nevertheless, we're still losing. So I'm thinking I should be more positive. Think positive. Get more of an attacking team. Get after the teams, and hopefully, we may lose a few more, but hopefully we can pick up a few more victories, which could be just exactly what we need to get out of this position. So let's get into it. In goal, we do have Travers. On the left is Toffolo with Lacoviti, and Lascelles in the middle with Castaina on the right. He's been our main source of problems, and since he's been out, we have played Kane there, and he has done well. So I'm a bit hesitant to put him back in, but I'm going to give him another chance. Grimes in our deep lying playmaker position. Miranda in centre midfield. Linger in the middle. Johnson on the left. Fujimoto on the right. And Archer up front. Right, let's kick off the game. And instantly, while I kick off the game, I've just noticed they've got a Cardi in their team. I mean, I don't really know what to do with that piece of information, but I certainly can't think it's a good piece of information for us. The fact that they've got a Cardi in their team. And they are just outside the European places. So I'm playing positive Gurgen press against a team that's probably got twice as many points as us. What could possibly go wrong? But nevertheless, like I said, we're going to try and score our way to safety, or attack our way to safety more. Obviously, you need to score. Attack our way to safety rather than being cautious about it anymore. Relatively quiet first half with them now having a corner. Good clearance. Can we do something with it? No, there's got a lot of space there. I mean, he said the entire side to himself. I mean, what are we playing at? He comes out, he's got the entire left-hand side to himself. No one's chasing him down, and he's just been allowed to shoot and score pretty easily. I mean, our fullbacks. I mean, I'm tempted to get rid of our fullbacks, both of them, if I'm able to. Oh, because realistically, teams just have us on that wing. Down both sides, they just absolutely have us, and there's nothing we can do. Well, evidently, defensively, those teams. You can see why Nottingham Forest got relegated last season on here. I probably brought in three players from a relegated team. I mean, that was obviously a wise decision, wasn't it? I mean, if I can take any positives from this, it just seems a bit like we are already, I think in our last game, or the game before that, at half time, we'd had one shot, and we're already on 4. So I guess if I can take one positive is we're at least having a go now. We've just got to get a bit of luck on our side, a bit like that. See, yes, I mean, yes. Just the fact that we've scored in the first 25 minutes, never mind just scoring in general. And that just comes from us, that comes from that pressing, doesn't it? We we get the ball and we're straight up, everybody's running up, and we're able to counter attack well. That's what I mean. I'm going to attempt to try and score my way to safety, well, attack my way to safety. But equally, that wing backs is we're vulnerable there really. So they are on the attack now. Again, these wing backs, too much space in there. I'm gonna drop these down to fullbacks again. Not the best, but I might have to drop them for Brian and Kane and go a bit more. You know, I can't really say they're worse because I think defensively they aren't. It's just a bit more of attack. Johnson seems to be doing well on this left hand side though. Seems to be causing some trouble. I mean, what? Oh, you. I mean, I brought him in to fix those problems. Brought him in to fix those problems. Not add to them. I mean, I dropped Joe Lumley for these exact reasons. That's too soft. That was such a soft. Oh man, I mean, come on. Well, yeah, in the second half, guys, 2-1 down. I mean, I don't really know what to say. I'll be honest, this quite possibly could be the hardest save I've personally had on FM so far. And I've kept some foreign teams up before from the Abyss and stuff like that, but I just can't. I don't. I don't know if I'm going to get it right in time to save us. Because because you're hoping that you're going to be good against the teams in the bottom half of the league, but we're getting beat well by all of them as well. Oh, I don't know. This season, it's more about saving me job as much as it is about the eventual aim of the series. And it's premature end of the series if I get sacked before it, wouldn't it? We've won 4 games out of 20. 21 now. This is here they are again. Too easy. It's too easy for them. The problem is I haven't got any strength in depth. This is the problem. Right. A couple of changes there, but oh, I don't know. Let's bring Kane on. They're saying that Castina's had is knackered, but maybe he'll help. Not that the damage isn't already done, but I mean we're giving it a go, but this is just. I mean, 14 shots. I mean, you lads. Everybody might be thinking, yeah, but you're losing 3-1, but that in itself is massive. The fact that we've had the ability to do that, it doesn't change the result and the gaps getting created, but nevertheless, oh man, what are we going to do? I mean, not concede more goals is not what I was thinking. Well, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna have to come up with something, and quick. I don't really know what January is gonna do for me either because, I don't know what January is gonna do for me either because I've got no ability to improve the squad, absolutely none. In fact, as I was saying before, and if anything, it's the opposite. I need to reduce the depth of the squad, not improve it. Oh man, I'm just glad Fulham are as bad as they are. Well, there you go, guys. 3-1 defeat. I'd actually say this isn't deserved. I mean, that second goal absolutely killed us off. And it was an appalling goalkeeping. Absolutely appalling. And then we created a lot of chances, which you need to realise for us, that's massive. Because we weren't creating any, but it means nothing if you don't get any results. I mean, I'm actually genuinely gutted about this one. But I feel like it's another step in the right direction. I'm just going to make enough steps in the right direction quick enough before I get sacked. Right, guys, as I said, I will be back at the end of January. Well, if I get sacked before that, I'll be back sooner. But touch wood, hopefully I'll be back at the end of January. The squad won't be too massacred and depleted, and I'll have some resemblance of a squad left. And at this point, I'm just hoping by the end of January we're still just in touch with safety. As long as we can stay within touching distance, there's always a chance. But we need to stay within touching distance, and I need to think. I mean, we are taking steps in the right direction. So, I mean, I don't want to say like I'm upbeat and positive about it, because obviously it was shocking. Results are shocking. Conceding shocking. But I am semi upbeat about the situation. And I want to stay upbeat about the situation, even if we do have Tottenham next, which I can't see going very, very well for us. But guys, if you are enjoying the series, and if you did enjoy this episode, I mean, I'm not too sure what to enjoy about this episode, unless you will. I mean, you might enjoy watching Portsmouth lose. You might enjoy watching me whinge about trying to fix the problems. Who knows? You never know. Whatever it is you enjoy about the series, guys, feel free to drop any comments down below. And if you do want to see some more episodes of the series, however many's left, I have no idea, then feel free to subscribe to the channel and like the episode. It does help me out massively. It helps the channel out for the growth, and, it lets other people maybe see the videos who may like my misery as well. Who knows? And obviously, if you like the channel, it also helps me as well. Guys, thank you very much for coming out and watching today's episode, and I'll hopefully see you at the end of January.